Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge podcast with your hosts, Liz and KT. And today's subject is going to be kind of like a fun one, super funny one. We're very chill vibes today. It's girl talk today. And we're going to be talking about the girls plus group chats. I got this idea from this podcast episode or this podcast called Between Us Girlies, which they actually like just ended the podcast, which is so sad. But they had an episode all about group chats and stuff, and it was like funny stories and just like so real and relatable. And I know me and Liz have had our fair share of group chats in our lives, so I thought that could be really interesting for us to get into. And now we're gonna get into our life update. Really, the most interesting thing, I guess, is Valentine's Day. It was on a Saturday, and I went to a nice brunch with my parents and my granny. It was really good food, and also that's probably the most interesting thing that I've done because school has been killing me. But honestly, I feel like after this week, it'll be good. And let's see, I'm currently starving in this moment. I have some Chick-fil-A that will be coming my way soon, and I've had a really chill day, and that's all I've been up to.
Then my life update is nothing crazy. I got to hang out this past weekend, and during the week too, I got to hang out with some of my study abroad friends, and that was a lot of fun. I saw them on Sunday, and then I met up with them later in the week because one of our friends who I literally hadn't seen since we said goodbye in Spain, she happened to be in town, so we all met up, and it was a lot of fun. Nothing crazy, just like a chill back dinner, but just being able to like catch up with them and everything is always such a good time. And then my other little life update, which I don't think I mentioned this last time we recorded, but if we did, don't mind me being repetitive here. But I finally exported some videos from my camera. For those of you guys who don't know, when I was abroad, I tried to be like a little vlogger, and I did some vlogs here and there of like our weekend trips and everything. And I just haven't touched those videos at all. But this past week, I started exporting some of them onto my laptop, onto iMovie, and started to like trim things here and there. I started watching some like how to edit on iMovie videos. So slowly, and I mean very slowly but surely, something will be out into the world maybe. I don't know. But that's my little life update for you guys.
And now we're gonna get into our faves of the week. So my fave, I have two. I'm going double whammy this week because why not? But my first is slow media, and by slow media, I mean basically anything that's not freaking TikTok, and it's just craziness all the time. So that includes video essays or commentary videos on YouTube. I'm currently for the last couple of days I've been watching a 5 hour deep dive into the Zach and Cody Sweet Life on Deck, like that show, and like really deep dive into seasons 1 and 2, and it's just crazy all the things like you miss or things that went over your head when you were little. And I've just been watching like commentary videos. I really like Curtis Connor. I haven't watched him in a while, and then I like watched him again recently. I was like, wait, I actually love your videos. I forgot how good they are, and I have gone back into this commentary videos again. I feel like I was like a big commentary girly back in like 2021, 2022, but I feel like now I'm slowly but surely getting back into them. I've been really enjoying my Substack articles. If I had my iPad near me, I would definitely give y'all some recs, maybe in another podcast episode. And then obviously books is like my most favorite form of slow media. I'm currently reading I Who Have Never Known Men. I barely started it though, literally like read like 2 pages, but tonight I want to get into more pages. And then my laptop, because she is my literal child. I love her, and I'm just like, it's crazy how much my laptop like has my whole life on it. Like I realize if I broke my laptop or something, I literally would cry and be devastated because not only am I getting a whole degree on there, but it just has like, everything on there, like the editing for YouTube, the podcast, and just like a bunch of other stuff, freaking life stuff and like resumes and stuff. So I'm like, wow, if my computer, if I were to accidentally like mess it up, I would actually be distraught.
No, because same Kennedy. Like even just like watching stuff on your laptop, I feel nothing hits like it. Like watching on your laptop, even if you have a TV in front of you, it just some media like YouTube is meant to be consumed on the laptop. And then my favorite of the week this week is that always gets me tongue twisted, you guys. But my favorite of the week is not being on my phone. So this past week, I am Catholic, so Lent started, and I decided to give up or like limit my screen time. My goal, it's nothing like, concrete, but I want to limit it to at least like 2 hours max per day on my phone, which I feel in turn means limiting how much I scroll on like social media, because I feel like that's where I get my mindless scrolling, and then my screen time goes up like to 6 hours a day or something. So I'm trying to limit it to just 2 hours a day. Most of the time, though, I feel like I've only been doing this for 4 days, but honestly, I feel like I felt the difference of not being on my phone to just like be on my phone versus being on my phone to look at messages and that kind of stuff. Because I still obviously like I like texting my friends. That's how we communicate throughout the day and everything. But I've noticed such a difference between doing that, like getting on my phone for a purpose versus getting on my phone just to scroll on something. I have noticed such a difference, and I feel like I've been able to like dedicate my time to other things, hence the exporting things from my camera to my laptop. I've even started journaling a little bit. I know past episodes, I think literally last year's episodes towards the end of the year, I started talking about how I wanted to do a little Bible study and like start journaling. And I literally never did, you guys. And not because I don't have time, because I'm literally living my best life as a stay-at-home daughter, but just because I would instead go on my phone and like go on TikTok, go on Instagram. But now I've actually been able to start journaling and do things that I just have been putting off because I would rather just mindlessly scroll my phone. So if you guys basically need a little inspiration or something, this is your inspo to limit your screen time. It truly is crazy how much we spend on our phone, but that's just my little favorite of the week.
And I will second that. Limited screen time, it makes a world's difference. You're like, wow, all this time that I have now, crazy. But now we're gonna get into our pop culture. So this is like kind of old news, but I feel like I just had to say this to, put it out in the universe. So recently in New York City, about a week or two ago, there was a Lunar Year celebration event, and it was hosted by Hudson Williams and the lead role of the Bridgerton girl this season. Not sure of her name because I haven't watched it yet, but I know like she's really popping right now, obviously, because that season is going on. But there were a lot of clips of Lola and Hudson partying. I was like, oh yeah, like she's cool. Like obviously, y'all know I love Lola down. But then there was another video of her, like she was like getting down, just vibing, like kind of by herself before like she went to talk to someone, I guess. And I texted our little fangirl group chat with me, Liz, and Kelsey. I was like, yeah, I need a party with her one day. I'm putting it out there now. When I move to New York City, whenever that may be, me and Lola, we're gonna end up in a party together, and you guys are gonna be like, "Wow, remember when Kennedy talked about this on the podcast?" Yeah, like she just seems so fun, and I love people who are out at an event and stuff, and they just don't stand there and like look awkwardly. Like, no, you need to dance. This
Oh, because when Kennedy sent us the video of like Lola and then the lead from like Heated Rivalry and everything, I don't know, they just give like, especially Lola dancing by herself, it just gives main character energy. She is that girl. She knows that she's that girl, and that should be a goal or like an aspiration. Just having that energy and being that person.
I agree. Like she knows exactly who she is, and I love that. And then next, so the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives trailer recently dropped, and we got the official like date. It is going to be out on March 12th. So y'all know on that date what me and Liz are doing. We are watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And you guys, wow, that trailer had a lot. And let's just say my two notes were LOL at Taylor and Dakota being in bed together when this filming takes place months before her becoming the Bachelorette. And then second, Demi singing dot 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 LOL.
No, because I have the same thoughts as Kennedy. I'm just not even gonna mention the Taylor thing. You guys know how I feel about her being the Bachelorette, and yeah, enough has been said about that. But Demi, my first thought was like, why is she still around? I thought she was booted from Mom Talk. I thought she was out. So why is she still in the season? And then her singing. Yeah, apparently everybody nowadays wants to be a singer, and I feel like they need some humbling because I got this other clip where it was funny because I sent it to Kennedy and I didn't even notice that it was Jesse's husband who posted the TikTok of like her singing, and it was kind of like a meme type thing to it. I didn't even notice that it was his account. But when you see the singing clip on its own, sis doesn't have like vocals. Like, I'm not saying she's like a bad singer necessarily. She could be worse, but it's definitely not good enough to be like profiting off of a career of singing. So I'm very intrigued into what she's doing. I don't know if she's maybe like, I don't know, since she's out of mom talk, I thought, maybe she's trying to like make a living doing something else. I think that she should just stay at home with the stepkids, be a little stay at home mom, and yeah, she should just be content with that.
One thing about Mormons is they are gonna sing, and I feel like religious people in general, they love to sing. So I feel like to me, that's given church singing. It's like they might say it's so good when you're up in church and church service, but outside of church, please don't sing. Please don't try to make that a career.
And yeah, March 12th cannot come sooner enough. All I know is it's almost March. So then basically it's already here. Like this is the time. And yeah, you guys, we're gonna be binging it. I don't know, maybe we'll do like a little what we're watching, just deep dive into this season, because I just know I feel like every season is a hot mess, but this season I feel like even more of a hot mess. It's what it's gonna be.
And I'll just say this real quickly because there isn't like anything confirmed, but this is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives adjacent. But allegedly, based on what I've seen on Instagram and TikTok, there may be a Secret Lives of Mormon Wives spinoff, but in LA or Orange County. And some suspected people on the show might be Macy's sister, which I didn't even know she had a sister, and Aspen Ovard, which she's an OG YouTuber. If you know, you know. Even like Avery Woods. So we shall see. Apparently, like people, local people who know people are like, yeah, like this is happening. You know, they're kind of going around asking people. So this happens. This shall be interesting. I know there's a lot of talk about both Demi and Jen's kind of roles on the show. Like, are they gonna stay on the show, not stay on the show? And so people are like, maybe like Jen, it's gonna be kind of like Jen's show. Maybe she'll be on that spinoff as well. So I don't know. I just thought that tea was very interesting.
I feel like I'm intrigued by that just because I mean, to my knowledge, I feel like these people's circles don't really like overlap, too much. Obviously, like mom talk, they were all making videos on TikTok, and that's how, they were all connected. But this new batch of people, I feel they don't even live in the same state. Like these people are all over the place. I don't know. So I think it'd be interesting to see if it does come out, what the common denominator here is, other than them being moms and everything. But anyways, that's all we have this week for pop culture, you guys. And we're gonna go ahead and get into what we're watching. So we're gonna do first, me and Kenny are gonna talk about the common denominator show, and then we'll go into our regular list. But we are both currently watching Love is Blind
And
season 10, episodes 1 through 9. So all the episodes that have dropped, by the time this podcast episode comes out, the new batch of episodes will be out. So we're going over like the first 2 drops of episodes.
yes, and I don't even know where to start, except I feel like everyone has the same sentiment. Oh, we're going to be doing full spoilers, by the way, so skip ahead. I hate Chris. He is a freaking loser. And Alex is a con man. So first we'll start with Chris. So Chris, you remember Chris and Jessica. I know a lot of people have trouble remembering names even this far, which is so valid. But Jessica, she's the internal medicine doctor, and Chris is Chris. There's nothing special about him. So basically, honestly, I thought everything was low-key going fine, I guess. And then it seemed like out of nowhere, he was kind of like, I like girls who do Pilates every day and CrossFit. And it was just very weird, basically implying that she was fat and ugly, which, you guys, she is, first of all, body T, but even like besides that, it's like she's a doctor saving actual lives. The last thing she probably wants to do on her days off is work out. I'm not saying like doctors don't work out, but like she's totally justified. And it's not even like she has a bad body. Like people like brought up like clips from her in her bathing suit from the freaking Mexico trip, and body was tea. And it's just crazy how then he was like, I've, been thinking about my number 2 as well. And the fact that he couldn't even say like Bree's name at that moment was like, very interesting. But he was like, just like my number 2. And just that whole situation was very weird and off-putting.
No, you guys, I can't even believe that happened, because I'm not gonna lie, I had texted Kennedy and our friend Jill, who's also watching, and I was like, low-key, they're like one of my favorite couples. Like, I feel like they're so healthy. Like, and then this happens. I take back everything I said. He had me fooled as he had Jessica fooled, the way he like gaslit her and everything. And yeah, that was actually insane. And then the way, me and Kennedy here, we try to give him the benefit of doubt. We were like, okay, maybe he's like, like the workout like lifestyle type of thing, but even then I'd want to say she literally, when he was working out in Cabo, she was there, like she was like doing her thing while he was working out. So it's not like she was like, I don't know, being staying at home in bed, and if she was, there's nothing wrong with that, but like she was like there and everything. So it's, I don't understand. And just like the way he made it worse for himself, he made it so much worse. I don't know why he thought he should show up at the little like reunion that they had. If I was him, I would have left. I know everybody here, at least all of the women, hate me. And yeah, I don't know what he's trying to do, and now he's trying to like slide in with the breezy bride girl. Yeah, man is literally a walking red flag. The producers need to kick him out of the show because he is obviously there for the wrong reason.
I agree. And I think it's insane how he was like, I don't give a F like the whole time. I'm like, sir, you care so much. And like, it looks like you're on the verge of tears. And I just didn't like how he was talking about Connor too in the bathroom with Alex, because he was like, what is Connor going to do? Fight me? And he's being so rude when it seems like, based off the show and stuff, that Connor was like one of his closest friends in the pods. And he was the first one he texted when him and Jessica first, like, I guess, broke up. And let's see, there was something else about Connor that rubbed me the wrong way, but I can't remember quite at this moment.
And now we're going to go ahead and get into the other red flag in this show, Alex, which for those of you guys who don't know, he's the one that's dating the tall blonde, and he's like the soccer coach or investor. So Kennedy has this theory, you guys, and I feel like her theory is very accurate, that he's a con man. Because first off, why does he have like so many job offers everywhere? Like he's able to like move around wherever he wants, He's also been living in like hella different places, different countries too. It sounds like he's on the run. And then he's like those like, and not even investors. I don't know. He's one of those like
Day
finance
trader.
people, day trader, that. So I feel like that is a whole like scheme in and of itself, I feel like that they get people. In the show I watched, White Collar, there was an episode where they were coming after the day traders, and I feel like he would be one of the day traders that they're coming after. But yeah, I just, at first, I didn't mind them. I kind of liked them as a couple, but now the more that I've seen about him and everything, I think that the blonde girl, I forgot her name, she needs to run. She needs to run, you guys, because it just seems like he has no like depth to him. Like he just kind of like the whole time, and I think Kennedy put this perfectly. It feels like he's literally like in a job interview. Like he's saying what you want to hear and everything, and not like giving any depth or like anything about himself. Although while that like interview interrogation with the dad was like a bit weird and everything, I agree with the dad. There's something about this man that just isn't right.
Yes, I agree. And the girl's name is Ashley. The only way I remember is because Axel, because Alex and Ashley, they both start with the letter A. But yeah, like at first I was like, okay, I liked them in the pause, and then when we went to Cabo, I was like, I definitely think Ashley is smarter than him, but we will see. And then I think just the dad like grilling him, and then the conversation about her period, like it was just like all very weird. So one, the period thing, Alex, he just like, I feel like just started a fight out of nowhere, and you could tell Ashley was like, wait, what? And he just, the ways he was saying to her, he just felt so aggressive and just like, so like, oh, I have my stuff together, so you need to get your stuff together. But it's like, I feel like he wasn't being, I don't know what the word is, he just kind of like talking himself up. But it's like, do you really have your stuff together though? Like, what truly are you really working on? And it's like, you can expect a girl who has a real job, because I doubt, like, day trading's not a real job, to like just give up stability. And I think what Ashley said during that argument was very real. She was like, I feel like you think I'm trying to trap you, but I'm not, especially like with the period thing. I don't know who told Alex that you can only get pregnant on your period, or like, I don't know, like people don't understand that like it takes very specific circumstances for a baby to actually form. So I don't know where he got that information from, but that whole talk rubbed me the wrong way. And I think that was before the dinner with the dad, the mom, and her
I
brother.
think it was after, but still, I feel like he's always starting arguments out of nowhere. Like before it was the period thing, he was talking about some water bottles or something. I don't know what he was arguing about there. Like it just the way Ashley was so confused. That was me watching, you guys. That was literally me. I was like, what is he talking about? And then like the period thing, that was just like that was a really weird conversation, and also like use protection. Like I don't know what it's telling you to not get her pregnant other than use protection. Like yeah, it just really didn't rub me the right way at all. And then even before that in Cabo, when he was talking to the Latina girl and he was like you're my type, it to me that conversation felt like he was like, we need to link up, like we're the ones that are vibing with each other, we're each other's type, like we're the ones who need to be together. I don't know, I feel like all these people are going after people who aren't their partners this season. I don't know, that's the vibe it's giving. And I really do hope that she just like runs, because she deserves so much better. Also, she's like very pretty. She is a gorgeous woman. So like I'm like, you don't settle for this man. Don't settle for this man. And also my last point about him is the soccer sad story. It's gotten old. Every single episode, every single conversation with this man goes back to him being a soccer player whose dreams were crushed and he didn't go pro. Like, okay, and like pick a real struggle. Like that happened. I feel like he's what, 30 something. So that happened like at least 10 years ago or something. Like let's move on. It's way past time for you to move on. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also when there was another talk where Ashley and him were talking about past relationships, because he didn't bring up this one person, but then his mom brought up this one person, and Ashley was confused on the timeline. I was like, girl, I'm confused on the timeline. I even had to rewind because I was like, I'm lost. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, this man, it's like he already knows, like he has just lied so much that he kind of like believes his own lies, so when it comes out it's like truth, matter of fact. And then you could tell he like stumbles around everything. Like there is a great example of this when she was like, oh, is this like some cheating, like some overlap involved between, I think, like his Chicago girl and his Austin girl, I think. But then one of them girls is also the Australia girl. I don't know, I'm confused. And there's like a little overlap. And then he was like, no, like there was no overlap. But then as she kept pressing him, it was more like, well, maybe it could have been, but like maybe more so on the fault of them. Like they thought we were so together. But then he was like, I don't view that as cheating. So it was just like, see, the more you question him, the more he can't even keep track of his own lies. And then another thing I was telling, he talks about the Chicago girl. There are theories that Priyanka is either the Chicago girl or just besties with the Chicago girl, because when they like met up for the little reunion for everyone, he tried to act like he ain't no Priyanka, and then later to find out they was in the same friend group. But even then in that confessional, he went from like, oh, like I know her, but then to like, we weren't really friends though, but then to we were in the same friend group. So like he is just such a liar. And Elizabeth actually like reminded me when we were texting about it that he tried to act like he didn't know her. He was like, is that Priyanka? I can't tell. I was like, bro, you are sick.
Yeah, that my thing is we have 2 episodes left and I feel like there's so much to wrap up. Specifically, I hope that this next episode doesn't start off just like, okay, next day or whatever. Like I'm trying to see him interact with this Priyanka girl, because obviously like she doesn't have a partner. We didn't really get much to see her much in the episode. So I'm like, she has some relevance, some importance. So let's like see what it is. And then I feel like my only other real thought is the only couple that I'm like, yes, like please make it, you guys, and I don't know their names. It's the black man and the white girl, the really tall. They're really tall. I love them so much. I feel like we haven't seen them like too much here and there, but from what we've seen of them, I feel like they seem the most healthiest couple. Granted, I did think that Jess and Chris were also pretty healthy, and then this last episode dropped, but I'm really rooting for them. I feel like they have like, I don't know, just the way that they talk and the way that they are interact with each other. I really do vibe with them, and I hope fingers crossed that they make it, or at least like if they end it, then like end it on good terms. Like don't go with this crazy stuff that these other guys are doing.
I agree. They kind of give me the same vibes as Lauren and Cameron, just real, authentic, genuine people who really want to find love. So I really like them. And also, I'm kind of glad that like they are getting like as much screen time, and like we're in Cabo just in the sense of like they're too good for all this petty drama stuff that's going on. And yeah, I just really hope they last. I have a feeling they are gonna last because they just seem very perfect with each other. They're having real conversations, especially as an interracial couple, especially with the interracial couple with the mom being white. So I think the fact that they're just able to have those conversations, and she's very aware of like her role in this situation, is very refreshing as well.
And then that's all of our Love is Blind thoughts for you guys.
Oh
So
wait, all I have to say is Brittany and Devontae. I'm gonna need them to wrap it up. I'm gonna need them to wrap it up, and not on Brittany's side, but Devontae's side. He pissing me off. Anyways,
no, because real quick about him. So like, why didn't he leave when his grandfather passed away? I don't know. I feel like that's like a pretty, like, I understand like he's there to find love, but at the same time, I feel like you got time, sir. You got time to find love. You know, go be with your family. And also, my whole thing about that, and I feel like I also like understanding where the girl's coming from in this of like, are you just like acting this way because you're emo and like going through it, you know, like, and that's okay if you are, or is this just how he acts like every day? And like, I feel like he's not a bad person, but I just feel like their love languages are not compatible, in the sense of like she seems like someone who like wants their partner to like touch her and like show their love physically that way. And every time they talk, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but every single time they talk, they're like sitting like opposite ends of the couch, and I'm like, okay, this is the perfect moment for them to like hug, to get like embraced, get closer. I'm not saying they have to do nothing crazy, just like a hug, like a pat on the back, like a cuddle moment, and nothing ever happens.
yeah, low key, I don't think he has ever dated a woman of color before. Not even I don't think he literally said it, and he didn't even say that. He said I've never dated something like this or something like that. And I said that told me everything I need to know, especially after his grandfather died, and just like the wording, because it's like he was like not expecting her to be a person of color. And I don't know, I feel like I could be here all day if I could just break down little things about Devonte. And I feel like I feel like Brittany is having to kind of beg him essentially, and I just don't like that. And I honestly hope they don't make it to the altar because she deserves better. And I think he wants a white woman, and I think Alex and him need to switch partners at this point.
Clock it. And then we're gonna go ahead and now talk about everything that we've watched separately for you guys. But all that I watched this past week is I started and I finished all of the episodes that are out, which is episodes 1 through 4 of the love story, which is the JFK Jr. and Caroline Bessette story. For those of you who don't know, JFK Jr. and his wife were the ones that like were in the plane and they crashed and died and everything. And this is on Hulu, Disney Plus, and only 4 episodes are out. But you guys, I'm hooked. It's so good. I know there's some controversy surrounding this, I think at least from like the Kennedy family, in the sense of like they don't think it should have been released or something because it's like intruding into their family. But at the same time, I'm like, you guys, your family's in the spotlight. Like at this point, we're all trying to figure out what happened. And also, he was very attractive. And I feel like the casting is spot on, you guys. Like all the casting that I've seen, I've looked up what they looked like in real life and everything. And the casting that they did, spot on. It's so good so far. And I am absolutely hooked, you guys. And yes, I think that man was very, very attractive. Dare I say more attractive than the regular old JFK. And then the other two things that I watched is I watched some movies on Prime. They're both called, the first one's called Love Me, and then the other one's called Tell Me Softly. Now, by these names, these are basically like the Prime, like cringy, like culpa mia, like your fault movies and everything. And you guys, yeah, the Love Me, don't watch it. Don't waste your time on this movie, you guys. The acting was so bad, I felt like, and that's saying something because I will be sad from start to end for all of these like cringy movies like this, but the acting in this one was just really getting to me. And it was just like it ended so weird, in the sense of like in this movie, basically it's this girl that moves to Rome and she starts like dating this guy, but the guy's best friend doesn't want her to date him, and he kind of has a thing for her. And at the end of the movie, it's unclear on who she picks. It was just very weird. I will be sad if there is another movie, I'm not gonna lie, but like it was just very weird. And then the other one that I watched is Tell Me Softly. This one was like a step above weird. This one, it wasn't bad at all, but the ending of it, I felt like it was very abrupt. Like obviously it was a cliffhanger, but it kind of felt like out of nowhere just end, you know? Like it wasn't like a proper cliffhanger, if that makes sense. But that's all I watched this past week.
So I mostly watch Love is Blind, so I don't have much. But I also watch Trader season 10 episode, not season 10, season 4 episode 9, the most recent episode as of now. And I think there's like two more episodes left, I believe. Two or one more episode. All I have to say is for those that have watched it, so it will be a spoiler. Rob has recruited, wait, why did I say that weird? Recruited. Yeah, that is how you say it. You guys know how you say some English words out loud. It's like, I feel like that's not how you say it. But, anyways, he got Eric to be a trader with him since Rob was obviously the only trader left. And when I tell you he's a terrible trader, but honestly, like, Rob, it's just kind of crazy to me how no one has questioned Rob at this point. Like, it's actually like, yes, he's playing a good game, but at the same time, like, the faithfuls are making it so easy for him. Like, they're not challenging him at all, which is kind of annoying. But I hope Rob wins so they can understand like how stupid they are. And then lastly, this was like a very last minute. I was like, oh, I guess I'll watch this because I was doing homework. But I finally watched the Stranger Things documentary, the One Last Adventure, the Making Stranger Things 5. And I did not think I was gonna cry watching this. I did not cry though until it was like when they were filming their last scenes and they were saying goodbye and they were showing like the goodbye speeches. I was like, oh yeah, like I'm sick. Other than that, I was literally fine. But I would recommend this if you're really into like the production, the design, and stuff like that behind a television show and just a big production in general because I am, and it was just like really interesting. Like I just can't imagine being on a set like that, and it's just like kind of like inspirational how they like so many people come together to make this project come together. Like there's so many moving parts and so much creativity going around, and yeah, I know a lot of people kind of like only on social media talked about like the writing sessions, but honestly there's so much more to the documentary. It's literally 2 hours and 20 minutes, so pretty long but really good. And I wasn't gonna watch it honestly until like a little bit because I feel like I'm still in kind of like a slump from that show ending. I'm just like I can't do anything Stranger Things right now, but I was able to watch this and it's just like it like brought up those emotions again. Just so good. What an amazing show. I know there's talks of a sequel, and I know they recently recorded the Broadway play, and that's what's going to be put on Netflix about like Henry Krill and his story. So I'm super excited for that. But yeah, I'm glad for this Stranger Things chapter to end though. I do think it's time for it to end this story, and I think the documentary was a really good ending to it all.
And now we're gonna go ahead and get into what we're our song of the week. I was gonna say what we're listening to, but now we're gonna go ahead and get into song of the week. And my song of the week, you guys, is now settle this debate because I was looking for the song on the Heated Rivalry soundtrack and I couldn't find it. And then I found the song that I was talking about, but it's not in the soundtrack. So is this song in the show? Is it like not in the show? Someone let us know. But it's the All the Things She Said by TATU, which is basically the club scene in Heated Rivalry. So that's my song of the week for you guys.
So I just looked it up while you were talking, and that is in fact the club scene. So that is confirmed by Google. That is the song.
I wonder if they like put it on the soundtrack as like a remix or something. But that is such a great song.
I agree. It actually came out in like 2003, which I feel like just makes sense. But my song of the week is another Heated Rivalry song, My Moon, My Man by Feist. Not sure. But I'll play kind of like my favorite like part of it. So good. Add that to your playlist right now. Pause the episode, add it, and then come back.
Okay, now you guys, the moment we've all been waiting for. We are going to go ahead and get into our topic of the episode, which is the girls plus group chats. So basically Kennedy kind of like went over this a little bit, but we're just gonna be talking about like everything group chat lore, group chats we've been into, the drama, the tea, our thoughts on group chats, all the above, because as girls, I don't know if like guys, really have group chats like this. I mean, obviously they have group chats because they like talk to each other. I mean, I would hope, but like, do they have group chats to the extent that girls do, where it's like multiple group chats and there's like group chat drama and like, people leaving and everything? I feel like they don't have all that, they're just sometimes guys are not as problematic as us. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get into it with you guys.
I would say they're problematic, but in the way that if you go in their group chat, it's probably a bunch of like misogynistic, racial, weird, offensive jokes, but then also just stupid sports stuff that like actually no one cares about.
That part, like, they're problematic in like a like that's how could you ever say that? And then us, we're just coming for each other's necks basically, and like
Yeah,
not that deep.
yeah, I feel like a girls' group chat is like similar to like what goes down in the FBI offices. But I will say, let's see, this is gonna be kind of like a free flowing episode, so we'll see what we get today. But I thought it would be interesting to talk about like what it was like when group chats were first, popped up because like I remember for the longest it's actually not gonna be niche. I know a lot of people my age, but like we had to like go use other apps to use group chats. Like that was like a big thing. Like I remember Kick was a big one, which Kick, are they in the Epstein files? We need to know because some of the things I've heard about, people have got a message on Kick. Mind you, we were like 14, 13, too young to be on that app. But still, like, that's how we would like have our group chats and communicate with each other. And I just remember when Apple came out with the group chat feature, it was like insane. We are so excited for it.
No, because memory unlocked. I totally forgot about having to have like the Kick app, and it's basically like WhatsApp, I feel like, but not, like not the level of what WhatsApp is. I think Kick walked so WhatsApp could run. But yeah, having like these chats on there, and it'd be like low-key kind of dangerous, not gonna lie, because obviously like it was like social media, so like there's also like random people sometimes added to group chats, and it's like, who are you? It just, I mean, I'm like thinking this is like not, this is off topic but not off topic. I'm thinking of that one lawsuit that's going on with like Instagram right now, where like that girl got on the apps too young. The real people that should be getting sued is Kick, I feel like, because some of the stuff on that app is crazy for the ages we were in. But yeah, I feel like completely forgot about that. I remember like I think my first like group chat on Kick was probably in like 5th grade, like around then, of getting added to it, and just like it'd be so fun because it'd be like you to be like talk to anyone, you would be on Kick. But honestly, I cannot remember when like actual iMessage group chat became a thing. Like I just remember like being in group chats, but I can't remember like it vividly becoming a thing.
Yeah, me neither really, but I just remember, or I can kind of remember the feeling, or I feel like I remember, or I'm assuming that back when group chats were first like came up on iMessage, we were like, yes, finally, no more having to go on Kick or any other thing that could have been out there. But yeah, I guess now we can just talk about like our group chat lore and any like funny stories and situations that have come out of it. I feel like the messiest time for group chats, honestly, for me and like Liz too, but maybe later. But me and Liz, we didn't go to the same middle school, so I would say middle school group chat. Oh, messy. And it like makes sense because sometimes I think back on that time, I'm like, why are we so messy? Like we were just in drama for no reason, but it's because we literally had nothing else to do. Like we got home, when we got home from school, practice, whatever, so like you truly had nothing else to do. And it was just messy drama for no reason. And then I feel like in the beginning of high school as well, and I remember me and Liz, we used to be in like this big friend group in high school, and like it, y'all, that group chat was run like Russia. Like we basically had a dictator. Like that person, it would be like she had to improve. It was like her and another girl. Like they had to approve who could be in the group chat. Liz is so lucky she was friends with this girl in elementary school because it would have been great. Like Elizabeth got in so easy, but everyone else, it was like you. It was basically like you had to interview, basically. But yeah, it used to be strict. It used to be real strict.
I'm like dying over here. But for me personally, like in middle school, I went to a private school. So, like, I mean, obviously there was group chats, but it wasn't nothing crazy. It was also a very small private school. So I feel like my first real introduction to these group chats, was my freshman year of high school. And I vividly remember, you guys, like, it was me and my friend in our piano class. And I remember she was in this like infamous group chat, it was like everyone from like our current friend group, but like everybody, like all these other people, you know? And so I remember like she'd be like on her in the group chat and I'd be like looking, I'd be like, I want to be in the group chat, you know? Cause like I knew like half of the people, I was like friends with them and everything. And she was like, no. And like she had like ask and everything. And I remember they were like, it had to basically like be a vote to get added to the group chat, you know? And luckily, you know, I was able to get added because like I knew like the right people in the group chat, you know? Like I didn't talk to like everyone necessarily, but like I knew the right ones. I knew the right people. I was like that person that was good with everyone, I feel like. So I feel like that's why it was easier for me to get added to it. But I do remember it was like a big thing to like get added to this group chat. Granted, you guys, it's not nothing crazy group chat. It wasn't like we were like the popular people in high school. Like it's nothing like that at all. This is just like a friend group and a group chat that existed within the friend group. But I vividly remember like I would be like, oh, like I want to be added to this, you know, like I'm basically like friends with like all the people. And it was like a big thing for me to get accepted. And even like my best friend at the time, she didn't get accepted into the group chat. Like it was literally like Kenny said, it was like a dictatorship. Like not everybody made it. You had to get voted. And even then it wasn't like unanimous. It was like very much if the dictator wanted you in the group chat.
No, I'm so weak because I forgot there was a vote. And even then, there was like a big group chat. And then there was, of course, there's always the side group chat, which I'm going to flex. I was in both. But and I think eventually Elizabeth got added to that second one. But it was, yeah, it was crazy. And when you brought up like the fact that like there was nothing crazy, like obviously there was like drama in it, but for the most part, besides the drama, we really weren't talking about nothing for real. It was just like everyday stuff, stuff in school, homework, how we're like sad or whatever, I guess. And yeah, it truly wasn't crazy stuff. And I remember I found it so weird how like people, I feel like there was some maybe like negative connotations of the group chat from some people who didn't get invited. But it was like our group chat was kind of like known, but not in like a cocky way, like oh everyone knew about the group chat, but like friends of like people in the group chat like knew about it, and it was just kind of like a big thing. And I remember low key we got caught out one time by someone's Snapchat story, and it was like, yeah, that's why y'all have y'all's little group chat, whatever, blah blah blah. I'm like, God forbid people have group chats. Like y'all don't have group chats with your friends. I'm like, y'all just mad because y'all not in it. But I digress.
And I remember one funny anecdote about this group chat, you guys, is like group chats and like removing people. Like it'd be literally like mid argument or like mid like deep conversation, and like someone would just randomly be deleted from the group chat, and it'd be like, like it's literally a dictatorship. Truly, like if you didn't agree, if they didn't agree, if someone didn't agree with what you were saying, adios booted. Like not even a conversation, nothing. You're just gone, and you gotta like text a friend to let you back in the group chat. And even then, I feel like sometimes in iMessage group chats, not everyone has the authority to like add people. And I don't mean that like in a like dictator way. I mean like sometimes like if you're not like the owner quote unquote of the group chat, it doesn't let you like add just anybody, you know? So it's like you had to ask the right person to get let back into the group chat. But that was one thing that I always like, even in our group chats now, when someone gets removed, I'm like, oh, so we're going back to the old days. Oh, so like that's how it is now.
Yes, and we would like to clarify because we don't have drama anymore because we are 20 years old. But when we get removed, it's like always as a joke. Just want to like clarify, and they literally get added back within like 3 seconds. But I do remember that like it used to be a thing like you're done, you're out, you have no chances, and you just have to be like add me back in. And like sometimes, of course, you have to be dramatic. I fear when I was emotionally unmature. I think that's how you say it. Sometimes I'll be in an argument and I would be like, I'm leaving this group. And then I'll be like, "Add me back," like for the drama of it all. So, leaving, yeah, that was definitely something.
And then, so obviously now, like group chats, there's always the side group chats, you guys. There's always the big group chat, and there's always the side group chat. And you guys, the side group chat always gets exposed. Even like I feel like nowadays, even when we're grown and everything, there's always going to be a side group chat of something. And honestly, I feel like most of the time, side group chats might start off because of like something petty, but then they just evolve. They just become like their own thing. You just become closer to the people in the side group chat or something. Because I remember in like high school or like those ages, like it'd be like talking about something or like someone didn't agree with something. So you make a little side group chat, you discuss it. But I do want to clarify and point out, just because that's how it started doesn't mean that that's how it like continue to be, you know? Like it just kind of like becomes a new little group chat where you're just talking about the regular like what's going on in classes, what's going on, like that kind of stuff, you know? But it's not like the group chat is explicitly limited to only like the reason that it was created, if that makes sense.
I agree. I think side group chats, that it's like the most exclusive club you can get into, JK. But like that is just such like a crucial, just like staple part of just like the whole group chat experience is the side group chat. And yeah, like was said, probably, it might have been started first for one reason, but then it evolves. And I know, trust, we all know the drama of like finding out you're not in this other group chat. Like I remember one time in high school, it was like freshman year. I can remember why. It was like the big group chat, and then we basically made a big group chat 2.0 for like extra people. But I think I was like so stubborn. I was like, this is so stupid. Just add them to the regular one. And they're like, no. The dictators were like, no. And then, of course, because I didn't want to be left out, I said, add me in. Oh, that just reminded me of another thing. They were also strict about how much you talked. If you did not talk in those group chats, you was out. Which, low key, that might be the only thing I stand on about group chats now is, girl, if you're not talking, then why are you here? Why? It's just like you're kind of like a lurker in a way, which is really weird. But anyways, back to what we said, the side group chat. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm biased because I've never had a negative experience with side group chats because I've always been in the side group chats. Well, actually, if I think about some past people that I'm not friends with anymore, there are definitely group chats without me. But as you can see, they no longer in my life. So I feel like that's more of the story.
No, because that's a good point. Maybe me and Kennedy's views on side group chats are so positive because we've never been on like the bad, the negative side of the side group chat. But honestly, I feel like there should be no hard feelings about not being in that side group chat because I feel like even like in a group like in I don't want to like I don't want to say in person because obviously the group chat you're friends with these people in person, but like even in a big group, there's people that you're gonna be closer to, and it's just natural to like hang out with those people more. So obviously, like on texting, on iMessage, you're gonna have these side group chats and everything. And then I will say though, the issue with the side group chats, and I am guilty of this, you guys. Kennedy already knows where I'm going at, but there is an issue where sometimes you have to be so careful that you're sending stuff to the correct group chat. And I am the number one victim, you guys, of sending stuff to the wrong group chat, and I'm the reason that the side group chat gets exposed. And it's I truly check, you guys. I don't know, sometimes I guess I don't check because obviously I send it to the wrong thing. So like I'll send like either like a message in the conversation, and I always get caught up where it's a conversation about someone or something, and I say something and I send it to the group chat with that person in it, or even sending like a screenshot or something. And I'm guilty. I'm guilty. And I truly, it's not like I do it on purpose, you guys. It's just it's slip of the finger. It's an accident.
No, and I actually have a really funny story about that comes to mind, like the OG reason why Elizabeth is the problem when it comes to exposing group chats. I feel like it's fine to say because it was like a long time ago, and we were young. We wouldn't do this now, but essentially, it was like the friend group that we have now. If you guys know, I don't know why you would know, but like if you know, like our main big group chat. And we used to be friends with a couple other people that we're not friends with anymore just because I can't even remember, honestly, at this point. It was so long ago, but like people change, grow. These are like high school friendships. And so the friends that we have now, we decided like, we kind of want to do our own thing basically. And we just want to hang out because I guess we thought at the time like the other people were bad energy. And I feel like if we were to drag up really what the cause was, I feel like we would still be valid now. But and so we had like a day downtown or something, and we hung out, like I said, the group of us that it is now. And Elizabeth was in charge of sending pictures because I think she had the best phone at the time. Yeah. And we tried to be slick because we had Life 362, so we were hoping they don't look at our locations, and let's just say Liz sent them to the big group chat. You guys, we thought we were so slick. They definitely saw those pictures. They were like, oh, we need to blow up the group chat so they don't see. So we just blowing up the group chat, saying random stuff while we were like low-key like dying laughing about it. But yeah, so that is why Elizabeth is not trusted.
And that's why I am the biggest fan of Apple's unsend little update in their phones. Yeah, it was a long time coming. I'm so glad they finally came out with it, because now I can just like click unsend and hope that everybody's phone is up to date, which I feel like by now everybody's phone has the update. So I'm in the clear. I'm in the clear, you guys.
Yeah, so that was really funny. Let's see. There's something else about side group chats. Oh, I think like I'm gonna do more good PR for side group chats, but I think nothing hits different though when it's like a very specific reason. Like I know back in the day when we were all into Marvel, for those of us that were obsessed with Marvel, we had like a Marvel group chat. I would say my most prevalent side group chat would probably be the one with me, Kelsey, and Elizabeth, because that's like our fangirl group chat. So we send like fan edits of people, talk about the specific like shows or movies that we may watch that only like us two would really know, and like celebrities and stuff. So like that is like just like the magic of being able to just be a full fangirl in those moments is like magic, I swear.
No, and with that, the names of like side group chats, the just like at least like the original reason that the side group chat is made, it's so like niche, it's so specific, but then it evolves to something so much more. Because like for example, I'm gonna read you guys some of like our side group chat names. So we have one that like started off as like gym rats, and yeah, that was in the era when we were going to the gym and like hanging, like going to work out, so like texting at the same time. But very much, I think that that group chat like still has a name. Like those side group chats, they become a thing because of like a specific reason, but then it evolves to something else, and then the name just never changes though. So I always think it's funny that like we're texting in a group chat called Gym Rats, and it's like none of us are going to the gym at this point. Another one, for example, there was I can't even remember off the top of my head exactly, but there was one where it was like a bunch of X's and like a little guy emoji because it was about like a boyfriend or something, or like sus because like somebody was like super sus. And like it's just like these like very niche things that it just evolved to something else that like you're like, oh wait, that's why this group chat was created.
Yes, I think the OG name for in high school was Gucci flip flops that I came up with because I'm a creative director. And that was only because during that time I was obsessed with the song Gucci Flip Flops by Bad Baby. So it was named Gucci Flip Flops. And then we had one that was like No Pocket, because I guess we wanted to be out of pocket. And yeah, the gym rats, which I was not in gym rats. I was not invited or calling up, JK, but I eventually was added in that group chat because let's just say with the friend group we had now, we had a little confuntal. College almost punched us in the face and like took us out, but we rose above. That's all that I could remember. I do vividly remember the sus one. The one that me and Kelsey and Elizabeth have, our fangirl one, is Holy Trinity. And low-key, if I hadn't like recently like cleaned up my messages because I needed storage, I could definitely provide a lot more good group chat names. Literally on my iPad, it had messages from like back in the day, like not early middle school. I mean, I haven't had my iPad for like the iPad that I have now for long, but it still had like that old data from like my old iPad and stuff. So I had stuff from like middle school, high school, but I mean, I don't have that anymore. But yeah, we had some very creative group chats. Our main big group chat with like all of our friends, like, and by friends I mean like the ones that we've been on the girls the girls trip with. It's D1 Yappers now, but it used to be the boys, which I was in the minority. People did not like it. They thought it was too immature, but may I like say my plea today is that I feel like D1 Yappers is just as immature as the boys, but I digress. Rest in peace, the boys group chat name.
And that's the tea, you guys. I'm like looking at group chat names, and yeah, I can't find like actually like crazy ones. But it's crazy like seeing some of these group chats where it's like it's just like the conversation just dies, and it just group chat dies.
Yeah, my family group chats, because like no one in my family got an iPhone. So I mean, now recently though, Androids have been able to do some. Oh wait, actually I do have some that I don't know if they're funny though. So my mom named the family group chat with like me, my brother, and obviously my mom and my dad. She named that okay, I can't say the exact name. It's the city that we live in, fam. So I was like, why do you have to specify that the city we live in? I'm like, do you have another family in another city? And then the group chat with just my parents and then just me is called Three Blind Mice because we all wear glasses. That's not really funny, but clever.
While we're at it, my group chat name with my family, this is a group chat where it's me, my brother, my sister, and my cousin, and it's called Three Ugly Rats, like with the rat emoji plus mom, dad. Oh, somebody changed it. I didn't even notice this. Looks like I have to change it. But the original name was Three Ugly Rats plus mom, dad, and it used to say Elizabeth because I'm not a rat. But my brother changed it to his name, so looks like I have to go back and change that, you guys, because I don't know how long this has been a thing.
Also, thinking of group chat names, it kind of reminded me when there was an era when I feel like it was a big thing in group chats where we would all see like, oh, like this is y'all's contact name, like this is my contact name for you guys, like the profile picture. And I feel like there was an era where we used to put hecka emojis by everyone's names. I know I just remembered that. After that era, I'm like, like nobody has emojis by my name. No one has a special name, respectfully. It is just your name because that's a lot of work. But yeah, that just is a random thing I thought about. But yeah, I think honestly that's probably all like the most like group chat lore, like funny stories you can probably think of. Unless Elizabeth has any, and then if she doesn't, we can go straight into like group chat etiquette. My first group chat etiquette I believe is I would say my biggest pet peeve in group chats is when we are already in the middle of a conversation and someone comes in with a completely different topic and it's like, girl, we're in the middle of a conversation. But I don't mind it though when you put it in parentheses so it's like obvious that this is like another conversation. That is perfectly fine. That is good group chat etiquette. But if you're literally in the middle of something and you're just like, hey, like basically like who cares, I'm gonna do this, then that actually is gonna make me really mad.
No, because that was gonna be my first one, specifically just because, like, especially when it's an active conversation. Like, you're sitting there, you're typing your random thing as you're seeing messages come in. Maybe you should, like, stop and, like, scroll up a little, see. Because normally I feel like when this happens, at least for us, it's always, like, deep conversations or, like, pretty, like, it's not, like, superficial conversations. So just, like, for you to come in out of nowhere with, like, random information, especially when the messages are literally coming in as you see them, that's just like bad etiquette.
I agree. And then this is not necessarily bad etiquette. Well, actually, that is the whole point of what we're talking about. So I am going to say it's bad etiquette, even though I think we're probably all guilty of this, maybe even Elizabeth. But I hate when people, I'm like, I freaking hate when people do this, Jacob. But it's one of my pet peeves when people come in the group chat and like, let's say we're talking about plans and then they like have a question. It's like all you had to do, I swear, is do your finger like this, scroll it down 1-2 times. You could have got that information. That is one of the biggest things that makes me so mad. It's just like people like, do you not have common sense? If you don't know nothing and we're already in the middle, trust me, it's gonna be easier for you to just scroll up, read for 2 seconds instead of being, wait, so what again? Like that. Ooh, that is gonna make me mad.
I am guilty of doing this sometimes, but in my defense, I feel like I don't do it to like where I feel like Kennedy gets like really irritated about it when it's like plans and stuff like that, like what time, where are we going, like that kind of thing. I feel like I don't do it in that sense. I am guilty though of like sometimes I'll like somebody says something and then I say the exact same thing but in like my wording and it was literally like 2 messages above and I'm like, I swear though, you guys, I have something where it's like dyslexia where I just don't see stuff. I just like like dyslexia, you like mix up the letters and stuff. I have the dyslexia where you just don't see stuff like at all. Like you completely miss sentences because I'll like read it and then I'm like and then I'm like, oh, right after I sent it, I'm like, oh, somebody literally just said that. But I feel like that's different from what Kennedy's talking about.
Yeah, I would say I back you up on that, Liz, because I can't really think of the last time you've really done that. In like general, definitely not with plans, because usually we the planners. But I can't really think of the last time Liz has like said something. We're like, girl, isn't that basically just what Jill or Kelsey said? This is not necessarily bad etiquette, but I feel like this is relatable. There's nothing worse when you're in a group chat with like 6 people, because that's what it would be with our group chat, and you send a text and no one answers. Like that is so humbling. It happens to everyone, but like that is one of the most humbling things ever. So it's like, oh great, no one cares about me. That's so fun.
And I feel like I'm on both ends of this where like I've been the one to do this, but I've also been the one to like not answer or say anything. So like I'm like it obviously is like, I know I shouldn't do it, but yeah, I do it.
Yeah, I have definitely been on both sides. I've been the one who has read the text message, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'll respond to that later. Then it's like 5 hours later, I'm like, ooh, ain't nobody respond yet. And then I'm also the person where I send stuff, I'm like, dang, I guess they didn't really care that much about my text message. But that is definitely something, I feel like that was something everyone like took to heart, like when you're younger, but like nowadays, it's just like whatever. Especially with our friend group, we talk so much. So it's like, it just happens, you know?
Next one of bad group chat etiquette is Kennedy kind of talked about this earlier, but just not talking or like not contributing to the group chat, like you're in the group chat, but you never say anything, you never react. You come in specifically with random stuff, like contribute to like the grand scheme of things, like the conversations, or like if plans are being made in a group chat. That's my biggest pet peeve in a group chat, is when plans are being made and like there's people in the group chat that haven't said a single thing, or like they'll come in like days later talking about I don't know what else, but it's like, did you not see the plans being made in the group chat? Like, do we include you? Do we not include you? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would agree, especially the part where it's like, you see, like, first of all, you don't ever really talk, and then you come in, and it's just like, it's not the right time. And then that reminded me of something else. This is like kind of, I think this is another relatable thing, is it's bad group chat etiquette when you might be the one few person with a boyfriend, and then all you talk about is your boyfriend in the group chat. I feel like that is just bad group chat and friend etiquette, because girl, no one cares as much as you do. Like, I hate to say, I feel like boyfriends, I've realized in my mind that it's kind of like the same vibe as like people talking about their kids, their pets. Like, yes, you may adore them, love them so much, but at the end of the day, no one cares about those people as much as you do.
Clock it. I feel like with that one, it's really just like like, remember, like, what, like, yes, group chats are made to like catch up and like talk and that kind of thing, but if it's like the only thing that you're doing, I don't know if we're like in the wrong for this. If it's the only thing that you're doing, like maybe like take a step back, maybe like talk about something else, like have something else about a little personality, a little something else to you. But that might just be me and Kennedy in the, I don't know, are we in the denominator in this? Are we bad people?
Yeah, we shall see. We shall let the public opinion, the court of public opinion, tell us. I think I was low key cooking up another one in my head. Like a funny one was like, if you have an Android, you can't be an Apple. I message group chats. You're messing up the vibe of the company. Okay, you're messing the brand up. JK though, because literally all my family is on Android. But I will say it's kind of like annoying though if you're in a group chat with an Android and like the different stuff. It's kind of annoying because every phone has different software. So like when someone sends like a funny message, and then like they laugh at it, but depending on some phones, like with my mom's phone and her model, like she can kind of like laugh at my stuff just as like the same as you could on an iPhone. But then other people, they don't have that, so then it just has the text laughed at, blah blah blah, and I'm like, bruh, I hate that. Like, that's bad group chat etiquette. If you know your phone can't do that, send it normally, then don't do it. That is JK though.
No, because I think that's like a new thing where Androids, where they can like react to your messages, because like people that I know that have Androids will like react to mine, and it doesn't send that like message saying like so and so laughed or like emphasize or whatever. And I'm like, Android needs to get on it with all their phones. But I think, yeah, what Kenny said, if I feel like if you're in a group chat and there's an Android in it, and you're not 100% sure if theirs is going to do that, just as an iPhone user, you shouldn't react, you shouldn't like emphasize messages, because then it just becomes like double texting, and sometimes like messages can get lost in the thread of those like useless messages, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and going off that, this might be contradictory, and I'm gonna be a hypocrite. But please, for the sake of God, I hate when people be blowing up group chats when it like just doesn't need to be blowing up. Now, I am very, very guilty of this, but I do have to say, I feel like sometimes when I blow up group chats, is because there's a purpose. Like, for example, I blew the heck out of this group chat with me, Liz, and Jill because we were talking about Love is Blind. And I just had a whole bunch to say. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry for this. But at the same time, I'm like, but there was a purpose. But if you're just like blowing up the group chat for the sake of it, which again, I'm guilty of it, I feel like not really though. Like, yes and no. But I feel like if your texts don't have a purpose, then like, please, like, it's just kind of, it can be overwhelming when you come to a group chat with a lot of messages.
And I feel like as we've matured, I feel like that isn't really like much of an issue now, But I do remember in like high school, it'd be like it literally a period of you guys. You're like you're in your class. Not even an hour. These were like 40-minute classes, 45-minute classes, and you leave class with literally like 200 messages, and it'd be the dumbest thing. Like literally no substance. Like there was nothing going on. It just be the dumbest updates. But I feel like now, like in our 20s and everything, like we don't really have this issue. So it's just it comes with maturity.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when I'm thinking about it, I can only think of instances from like middle school and high school, and I remember like it would be arguments and people would purposely blow up your phone, which would be so annoying. But honestly, I feel like that's like all the group chat etiquette stuff I can think about at this moment.
And with that, you guys, that is the end of our episode. Those are all of our group chat lore, or like group chat thoughts, opinions, all of the above. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys made it this far in the episode, if you made it this far, comment down below the craziest group chat like name, or like a funny group chat name or something on whatever platform you're listening on. Or even go on our Instagram and comment down a group chat name. I feel like group chat names they can get pretty creative. So thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you guys are following us on all of our socials, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.